Hey everybody, it's Maria from What's the Story with Maria. How's it going? Welcome to our show. I have my little sidekick Rizzo tonight. She's a little excited tonight. I'll let you know why later. But anyway, so I just wanted to give her sometimes when I'm on a Zoom call or if I go live, she really wants to be in the shot. So Rizzo, say hi to everybody. She's very excited because we have a great guest on tonight. I'm so beside myself. We have two great guests. Our first guest is Tom Gold of Tom Gold Dance, and he's going to be zooming in very, very shortly. In the meantime, we want to tell you about there's so much going on in the city. My God. It's fall, which is my favorite time of year. I was born in Boston, so we have the most beautiful foliage in Massachusetts. And I'm starting to see it here. I'm starting to see the leaves turn. It's so pretty, depending on where you're in Jersey. And so I'm all about fall. I like a little nip in the air, I will say. So all that's happening. And there's just so many exciting things happening in the city. So much theater. It's like alive again. So many shows are going on. A lot of my friends are visiting town and coming to see me at Stonewall or the Duplex or Brandy's on the weekends, and the restaurants are packed again. It's really a wonderful thing. The only thing I will say that I noticed is because the exchange rate in Europe is so crazy, it's good for us to travel there. But I have noticed, and I don't know if anybody else in New York has noticed, but it's not so good for them to come here. So tourist stuff is, I did notice that the tourists were a little, it was a little light on tourists, but a lot of great things are happening as we're moving into our holiday season soon. We just celebrated Jewish New Year, so Happy New Year to our Jewish friends. It's a great time of the year. I just feel like fall is a great time to start new things and to start classes, to start shows, to work. I always feel the most creative and productive in the fall for some reason. Maybe it's my student teacher head, because I also am a teacher. Maybe that's why. But anyway, so we want to welcome you to our show. Liz Goldenberg, my friend, has joined us. And funny enough, our first guest, Tom Gold, is Liz Goldenberg's brother-in-law. So Liz turned me on to the great, incredible talent that is Tom Gold and his dance company, because I see Liz a couple times a month. I drop off sauce. Liz is one of my best sauce customers. And she always tells me about her brother-in-law, who I do believe we've met before because I know her brother. And so I think we've met at Liz's parties. But I'm really excited about bringing him on. So thank you, Liz. Also, Danielle of Dee's Enlightened Edits has joined us. She is a spiritual advisor and reader. So you want to check out Danielle. I'm going to have Danielle on the show. Maybe, Danielle, I'm thinking maybe November. See how that works out for you. Maybe we can work something out and have you Zoom in, StreamYard in. All right. So, Leo, why don't you join us quickly, my friend? Leo is so busy now. I can't even get a moment with Leo because he is gun for hire, left and right. He's working around the clock. He's like a gun for hire to the stars, the cabaret. Am I right?
The cabaret stars, the cabaret world, yeah.
And also, I know you're working with Andy Prasky, we're gonna have Andy Prasky back on the show. He's re-releasing a movie that he worked on years ago.
Really exciting.
I know. And I know you work with Richard Skipper, who we love. I know you work with Carolyn Montgomery.
The American Songbook Association.
Yep. I know you are all, I'm just lucky that I can still get you.
Well, hey, this is home, so
right.
Home comes first, you know.
I know you did a little promo for Ken's Perfect Jams. You want to show that promo?
Oh, yes, I'd like to, but I'd also like to tell everybody that he's got a new, where's my camera? There it
is.
New flavor. Peach Melba Jam.
Oh, my God.
Peach, raspberry, and vanilla. So this is a little visual.
Ridiculous.
You may not see it. You can hear the music. You can dance along to the music.
Okay, so play that little promo that you did for Ken's Perfect Jams, which we love. He's our buddy out in California. That ad is so inviting, Leo. You did an amazing job.
And it didn't even cover half of the flavors
I know.
that he has.
If you go to Ken's website, Ken's Perfect Jams with a K, Ken Perfect with a K, by the way, you can't believe the pages and pages of flavors that he has, and I love it. I also cook with those jams. I cook with the sweet ones as well because I'm a big fan of salt and sweet. But also, there's a twisted pepper jam that is off the charts. It's like a red 3 different types of peppers, and it's very spicy but sweet. I lose my mind.
You put that on some salmon, didn't you?
I put on sandwiches. Yeah. Okay, so Johnny Tomorrow's joined us. Oh man, I just said.
Oh my God!
I know.
That name.
Johnny Tomorrow. Leo is fanning himself. Guess why? Because our calendar. What did I do with our calendar? Rizzo is sleeping on the calendar.
Excuse me, goodness. It's because it's so hot and warm. That's why.
So our calendar for 2024, Leo is putting that together tirelessly.
2023.
Right.
Slow down.
I know, slow down is right. Because it's sold out. It's already filled. We have no room for anybody else. But already we have people for next year. Now, you know who's Miss October? My girlfriend, Eudania Mesa. There she is.
Senator Judy.
Of Mesa One Management Consultants. She is our Miss October. So if you have your What's the Story with Maria calendar that Leo and I created, Leo did all the layouts though, so I can't take any credit for that.
I didn't do all the layouts.
I just got the whatever, but I just cast it. Leo's in here too. Now, next year is coming. I got to tell you though, Leo, Judy was a little upset that she's not in next year's calendar, and I said we can no repeat calendar people.
As her future campaign manager, she can only do one before we have her as senator. That's her.
By the way, Judy has a TikTok page that you have to go to. You're gonna die laughing. Okay. It's really good. It's mostly her reacting to things. She has many reactions.
Imagine.
So Miss October, this is our month. So the calendar is really cool because it's a good size. You can hang it on your wall. You can put it in your bag and carry it around with you, which Susan Campanero does quite often.
Next month is a 2-parter, right? We have our Mr. November, right, to be accompanied by our Ms. January of 2023.
Right. So Mr. November is Peter Feliciano, who's sexy as hell. All our calendar people are sexy. And his wife, his beautiful wife, is going to be Miss January. She's in the new calendar. So anyway, enough of that said. We have merchandise, of course, but I want to just put that aside. We'll do that at another time.
I was going to say, Mr. Gold is in the green room, but dancers are very disciplined, so they don't even have to worry about the alcohol and all of that.
Because I'm sure he's stretched before, and he's ready to go on. And I want him to just spring into action.
Like
and
that?
Join us. Oh my God! There he is, Tom Gold.
How was that?
Hi, oh my God, he's spinning.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah,
spinning. He's.
I'm giving you everything. How's that?
And everything is what we want. Everything is what we want.
It's so good to see you.
You too. I'm so happy to see you. I'm not joking. I was really I was excited like a little kid today.
Well, I'm very excited as well. So thank you for having me on the show.
Of course, Liz kept reminding me, and I was like, yes. And then what I really want to do, because I don't like to interview someone that I wanted to find out more about your dance company. So I didn't want to just have you on and not know what she had told me what you did, but I wanted to really just check it out. Tom.
This is our new website. It just went live this week. We just had it redone. So I'm really happy. You can see video clips and you can find out about all our upcoming performances. You can buy merchandise.
It's beautiful.
So thank you. We've been saving up to get this done for a while. So I hope everyone checks it out. Because
now I got to tell you, I've always said this since I was a little kid. I am a singer. I'm a comedian. I do a million things, right? Yeah. I'm just a big goofball. But the thing that always brings me to tears, and I'm not a dancer, I've never been, but what always brings me to tears is beautiful dance pieces. Like I used to go and see Paul Taylor dancers, so many dance companies. I just love dance. Yeah. I love it. I have such a respect for it, and because it is something that I don't do, I'm just in awe of it. And I also know from friends that are dancers what it takes, like Leo said, the discipline to do what you do. So when did you start dancing? I'm sure everybody asked you that. You must have been just a little guy, right?
Yeah, no, I started when I was 5, and, you know, typically my sister started. My mother enrolled us in many things to get us out of the house because we were driving her crazy. So I
Yeah.
took ice skating and tennis lessons and went to the park district for arts and crafts, but she started dancing and I saw her and I'm like, I want to do that. I want to be on the stage. My mother said, okay, so we went to the local school and they said, we don't do ballet, but we'll teach you tap. So I started tapping right away. And then I got into the ballet and then it was just a love affair ever since. And I never stopped. You know?
That's beautiful. So it's kind of like the song from Chorus Line. I
Yeah.
can do that.
Yeah, exactly. So, and that's kind of what happened, you know, it's like, I just continued. People always go, did you know? And I said, no, I just loved it. And I just kept going. I never knew that it was going to turn into this career. It's just what I really wanted to do.
And you know what? To me, those are the best stories because that means that you are living in your life. You're not just looking for and say, I want to do that someday, or you're just doing what you are, a vessel for your art.
Yeah. I mean, I found my thing, you know, which is great because I know, and I'm sure as you know this as a performer, most people don't always find their thing. So when you find what you love and it just clicks, you know.
Absolutely, 100%. I would venture to say that 70% of people don't even know what their thing is. But they long for it.
Yeah.
And I think I know that most people love the arts, some form of entertainment.
Right.
And they respect us for it. But I've always been just moved by dance because as I said, I had a lot of friends growing up that were dancers, and even now I have matter of fact a friend of mine, Lucas Ferdin. He just got accepted to the Oakland Ballet Company.
Wow. Yeah,
and he's just a beautiful guy, and he went out there, and so I can't believe like what you folks have to go through to stay in shape. And you have your own company, but
I do have my own company. So I don't really dance anymore. I actually stopped a while ago. So mostly I focus on running the company and doing the choreography and, you know, planning the programs and things like that. And I do a lot of freelance work as well. So, I mean, ironically, I have a friend, Kevin Carrillo, who's a theater director and a playwright, and he was workshopping a play last week that he asked me to be in, which involved me dancing and singing and acting. So I came out of retirement for a little bit to do that. So, and it was fun to like, just kind of go, I can still do this. And, you know.
Oh, I love that.
It was great.
That's so great. So, you know, Liz is on, of course, she's your biggest fan.
I'm her biggest fan.
Or isn't she? I love her.
She's the best. She like takes care of, she really is like the unofficial mayor of New York. She takes care of everybody.
And you know what? She is so incredible. You talk about supporter of the arts. Yeah. Liz is so incredibly supportive of all
Absolutely.
of us. And I personally very much appreciate it. So howdy from Key Biscayne tonight. Hi, Liz. Glad you're here. So Dominic Pupa has joined us. Don't pay any attention to him. He is always inappropriate. Always inappropriate. He's a comedian and he's very inappropriate. Always. So yes, we do love that. So Eugenia Mesa Dominguez, she's my girlfriend. She has joined us. Johnny Tomorrow, Billy Young. So we have people pop on all night, and I do like to shout them out. Okay, so you have your own dance company, but so it started in 2008, right?
Right. So I had danced with the New York City Ballet for 21 years. And then when I left, I decided I wanted to form my own company because I'd been taking small groups out and I really liked putting the programs together, hiring people I really love to work with, and, you know, creating content that I thought would speak to people. You know, I think a lot of times classical ballet has a very kind of negative connotation. People think it's just, you know, white swans and like sylphs from like another century. And I thought, why can't we make it more contemporary, which it is going in that direction. So my work, you know, I try to infuse some Broadway, some jazz, some contemporary, some, you know, rock, like things like that. So, you know, it speaks to the audience. They look at it and they go, oh, I didn't know ballet could be this, you know? So
absolutely. And one of the things that I noticed on your website is that there are pieces that are they're almost like short films, like
yes.
Little clips of you're telling a story, and like this one particular dancer, she was in many different places. So and what she was saying was, I write. I'm trying to remember what she was saying. I write as if I'm free.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah. So
so beautiful.
yeah. I mean, you know, talking about like finding your passion and people during COVID, I think a lot of people ventured out and did other things. And for me, you know, we had a lot of work and we lost all our performances because we couldn't be indoors. So one of the things we did is Riverhead Press, which is a division of Random House, hired us to make these short videos to represent books on their summer reading list.
Oh, wow.
And, yeah. And so this was a book called Dear Sender On, about a transgender person who it was spiritual and mythical, and it's a beautiful book. And so this dancer, my Savannah, was kind of representing a lot of the characters in the book, and then I had her do a voiceover with it. So, and we went out to Brooklyn to the Arts District, and because I thought all the visual graffiti would just work so well with this.
It's beautiful. I loved it. It really moved me.
Yeah.
Say here's something strange.
You know, and like you said, now there's something you don't, when you think of classical ballet, like I wouldn't, but you the backdrops that you use and all of that, just really stunning.
Yeah, and you know, I put them in sneakers, I put them in different kinds of footwear, but we're still using the classical technique underneath.
Right, I noticed that.
Yeah.
I noticed that. So now when you create a piece, because I love the creative part of anything and the building of anything. Do you start with just a thought? Are you commissioned to do it? Is there a lyric of a song that pops out at you and you say, because when I write a song, I usually find like the center of it first and then everything comes from it. That's just for me musically. But do dancers work the same way?
You know, usually for me, what it starts with is the music. So I listen to a lot of music on iTunes and places like that. And then I like kind of compile music. Then the next thing is I always look at which dancers I'm going to work with and are available. And then I look at the program that it's going to go on. So I try to formulate all these components together. But it usually starts with me in the studio, just listening to the music and creating movement. And for me, I always have to have a story, whether it's a literal story or an abstract story, because that influences the kind of movement I'm going to do and the steps and the kind of gestures that go along with it. So yeah, I make up stories in my head and then I try to tell them in some way, shape, or form.
You know what, Tom? I think we were those kids. We were those kids that could play alone for hours.
Absolutely.
Because our imagination, that's really what it is. When you're a creative person, if you are a writer of any kind or a creator or choreographer, you're living in your head a lot.
Right.
But it's not such a bad thing.
No, not at all. I mean, like it's, you know, we didn't have cell phones, we didn't have computers, so you had to kind of use your imagination to create your worlds and figure all this out. And yeah, I would do that for hours and hours, hours.
Now, so what would you say were some of the challenges that you came across when you were putting the company together?
First and foremost is just money, you know, like especially when you're starting out, you know, people are not going to take a chance on an unknown and produce you. So you kind of have to produce yourself. Right. So I was doing a lot of fundraising and reaching out to people and asking for help. And, you know, and then we slowly built our reputation and, you know, so yeah, we're at a good place now and people are actually hiring us. Last summer, we performed twice at Little Island and we performed in the Berkshires a lot. I mean, it's been really great. So
as a matter of fact, let's talk about the Berkshires.
Yes.
Because you have a show coming up next week, I think.
October 22nd. Yes, in Lenox.
Okay, Lenox, Massachusetts. You know, I'm from Massachusetts.
Well, we go up there quite often. The Berkshires was kind of a safe haven for us during COVID because everything in New York was closed down. There was no dance studios open or spaces or theaters. So we would go, I would take the group up there and there's a place called Shakespeare and Company that does Shakespeare in the summer and their dorms were just empty. So we would stay there. There was a dance studio that was empty and we would just go and I would just create work. And then we'd come back and we'd live stream it or we'd perform outdoors. So the Berkshires have been like a wonderful haven for us.
How great. So your show is October 22nd, which I believe is a week from this Saturday.
It is.
Okay. So if you are, we have a lot of listeners and viewers that live in Massachusetts.
Fantastic.
And love the Berkshires, lots of friends up there. So if you are up there, it's the Tom Gold Dance Company. You can go to tomgolddance.com and just check out all their performances. But this particular theater is called the Duffin, right?
The Duffin. We've never been there before, so this is a first time for us. But yeah, I'm very excited. So
now, Tom, let me ask you, because I'm looking at your schedule. Then you come back on October 26th, and you're at the JCC.
We're at the JCC. So they just started up their performance series at the JCC. And I thought I'd reach out to them. And my executive director reached out to them too. And they said, yeah, we're very interested. Why don't you come? We just reopened up and we redid our theater and we'd love you to be a part of it. So
that's great. But now travel time, you're going to drive to Massachusetts,
right?
Do a performance
and then come back and then get ready for the next show.
Wow.
But for me, that's much better than having like a chunk of time in between, because it's like, it's fresh, it's there, we've just done it. So.
And how many people are in those particular dance? That company, how many? What's the
class? 7 right now. So we're doing 2 pieces and 5 in one and 2 in another. So.
Wow.
And the new duet is brand new, and I made it just for the JCC because the JCC also has art exhibitions in their lobby, and this one's called Blessed, and it's about unity and bringing people together and kindness and inclusivity. So it's
beautiful.
Yeah,
that's so beautiful. That's great.
Yeah.
And do you work with the same? Is it the same company that you've been with, or is there people coming in and out?
I try to keep the same dancers for as long as possible. So this group I've had for 4 years. So usually I have them between like 7 and 10, and then they either, they change careers or they move on to teaching or something else, or they just want to do something else. And then I get a new group in. So
yeah, wow. Just look at that.
Yeah, they're great. They're a lot of, I have a really good group right now, and they're all very special. So I'm very
well. I'm sure they feel the same way about you. I'm sure they're very inspired. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they do. Now, I want to also talk about something else because I found this fascinating. So you're local, but you also have been around the world. You were in France, Spain, Italy, Bermuda, Israel, Bulgaria.
Yep.
And Cuba.
And we went to Cuba before it opened up.
Wow. That's why I'm looking at it. Says 2012. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, that was before President Obama had gone over there. So tell me about Cuba.
Well, what was fascinating is we're taking I have a friend who runs the Cuban Artists Fund, and he's been aware of us for a while. And he said, there's a ballet festival every 2 years. Would you like to participate? I said, absolutely. So we were booked. And we were at the airport, and as we were taking up, Hurricane Sandy was coming into New York.
No.
So we go way up, and we're above the clouds, and you look down, and you just see this big mass swirling over Manhattan. It was the freakiest thing.
Wow.
It was wild. And then we landed in Cuba, and it was 90 degrees.
That's mind-blowing.
Yeah, it's
on
wild.
So many levels.
Yeah, but it's just like it was. I mean, I think it's changed a little bit now, but back then, there was like very high-end hotels, but then there were all these beautiful old mansions that were just in rubble and falling apart and, heartbreaking. But my God, the arts community is so vibrant. They have beautiful theaters. And
my girlfriend was born in Cuba.
Wow.
So, and she is very much in touch with her relatives there. And there's just so many stories. And a lot of her friends that are Cuban that are also there are a few visual artists, and they say the exact same thing that you said. What they are American born, but they're Cuban Americans, and they go back and they find that the people are so beautiful, and there's such a vibrancy for the arts, but there's like just these areas that are run down, and I don't know. I mean, I guess it's not for us to try to figure out why things are the way they are, but the arts, you see, that is a story of hope for me, of the arts. Always, no matter what country, what conditions were happening, people were always creating. You cannot squash a light in a human.
It always finds a way. Yeah, it just and absolutely the visual art scene is so vibrant there. I mean, they paint and they sculpt and
Yeah.
incredible. It's really, yeah, everywhere. There's music on every corner. I mean, you just walk around the corner and there's a band playing. It's an amazing place.
So that was the International Ballet Festival, right?
Yes. Yes.
2012.
Right.
Wow. That's really, really
And it
amazing.
was great. I mean, because it's an international ballet festival, you have dancers from all over the world, and we're all staying in the same hotel. So you meet all these different people and make great connections and great friends. And yeah, it's so much fun.
Can you imagine? I mean, I'm sure, I know you don't have to imagine it, you felt it, but as someone that's listening to you, all I think about is the vibration of that, of people from all over the world. Like I always say, I was talking to some friends the other night that were in from Arkansas, and he's a lawyer, and we come from very different backgrounds, but we get along so beautifully. And I said, imagine, and they come to all the piano bars. I said, imagine if we could just all sit around a table and break bread and listen to music. What a beautiful world that would be.
Yeah.
If you boil it down and take away all those crazy fears and opinions, and we just sit around, like that, to me is the ultimate. And
Right.
art is that. It is that.
Absolutely. I mean, wherever you come from, we might not speak the same languages, but like dance, music, and visual arts, we all speak that language. We all move, we all hear music, we all can draw or paint some way, so we all have that connected.
Absolutely. Leo, how are you? Join us.
Good. I wanted to say I got to perform. Hi, Tom. I got to perform in Cyprus, the island of Cyprus.
Wow.
At an international Greek festival. It was international. There was people from Belarus. There was people from Egypt. There were people from Cyprus and Greece, and they were doing the Greek classics in their own language, and you could understand them because of the passion and it's one of the 3 international festivals I've been able to perform in, and it theatrically, just like dance as well, there's so much movement in European theater, and it's amazing to watch and hang out afterwards under a full moon. And one of the festivals was in Egypt, so by the pyramids, hanging out with the Afghani group who we barely speak any of the same language. Those are magical moments.
I love it. Now I want to shout out some of our friends. So my friend Lori Towers has joined us. She is a radio personality, and she is also an amazing bass player.
Wow.
So she said, art is the longevity to the spirit. I love that. Lisa Nasli is my friend. She is a flamenco dancer.
Amazing.
Yes, and she would, boy, you two would talk for hours. She was on the show, and there was something called the Dance Parade.
Yes. Yeah, it happens every year. Yeah.
Yeah. And she was in that as on the flamenco float. And have you ever wanted to do that? Have you ever had time to do that?
Me a couple years ago, but then COVID happened.
Yeah.
I have to get back in touch with them, but yeah, they did reach out to us. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
So people are they're loving this. So let me just check in, because sometimes I have to run this show on 2 different platforms because people check in on different sites. So okay, so we have Liz. Meg Gallagher is joined us from Massachusetts. So Meg, I was telling people that Tom's company, the Tom Gold Dance Company, is going to be in the Berkshires on October 22nd at the Duffin Theater. So Massachusetts people, write that down, or you can just go to tomgolddance.com. And Crispy Chrism, that's our friend Chris. He has a great new pub called Hendrickson's. And that is on, I believe it's 73rd and 1st. Type that in, Chris, so I can promo you. He used to be a bartender at Brandy's, and now he has his own place, which is wonderful. So we want to always support our friends. So Lisa says, yeah, the dance parade was really fun. I love that. Imagine if it would just be a happier world if we were all dancing and breaking bread and making music. It is a happier world. Thank God for that. And we must continue to do that. You know, when I was watching, there was one of to me, the most powerful and sad scenes that I've seen in recent years was in Ukraine. They had this little clip of this woman. Her apartment was in rubble, but her white grand piano, I get choked up thinking about it, was still intact. And she just wiped away some of the rubble and the dust, and she opened up the piano and she started playing classically. And I just cried my eyes out, and I thought, like, people, they still will always go on and create and make beautiful things. So we must continue to do that.
Absolutely.
So everybody, please check out tomgolddance.com. Write that down. Check out. We're also going to post it on our wall. And Tom, if you ever do anything, please feel free to post it on my wall.
Absolutely.
And I'll post it to my show wall and share all that.
Great.
So I think what we're going to do now, we're going to take a few minutes. We're going to bring on our friend Annette, who is a chef, since it is Italian Heritage Month. And we're not going to let you forget it. So Happy New Year. I know Yom Kippur just happened, so Happy New Year. Many great things happen around this time of year, and it's also Italian Heritage Month. It was just Hispanic Heritage Month last month, so such a beautiful season. We're gonna zoom Tom out, but don't go far because we want to bring you back in. And
I'll
you can
stay here
with us. Okay, my love. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the beautiful, lovely, and talented and sweet as pie, Tom Gold. Woo-hoo! He's coming right back. All right, Leo, you know who we have in the wings. Now, special shout out to our friend, because she is so busy. She's busier than I am. And I can't imagine what that means, because my head is spinning around like a nut. I said, I really want to zoom you into the show because it's being Italian Heritage Month and you're an amazing chef. Because she wrote to me, what are we making? I was going to have her zoom in and show me a dish. And she said, oh, no, I'll come over. I said, Annette, you don't have time to. No, I'm going to do it. She is here. Ladies and gentlemen, Annette.
Oh, let's see the puppy.
Put your hands together for Annette Zito, everybody. Woo! She has.
Siete something giorno.
Il giorno. Seize the day. And I have my Roma shirt on.
Woo!
So 2 Italian girls hanging out, cooking.
Yeah. Oh my God, that should be a show just by itself.
Oh my God, forget about it. Now, may I grab you? Do you want to talk about it first?
No, I mean, I'm combining Italian American.
Okay.
That's the.
Now I'm going to hold it, and you're going to talk about this dish.
Annette
is an amazing chef. She has a great site called Kitchenette. Leo will post it up there. Please go and check out Annette. She makes the most amazing dishes.
Oh my God.
These are mini meatloafs, but they're my mother's meatloaf, meaning they're Italian. So it's like a big meatball with mozzarella in the middle and then prosciutto, like just kind of sizzled on top. And that's kind of it. There's cheese. There's what else you put in meatloaf? That's good.
And I'm still on the keto because I have to officiate Jeffrey and Steven's wedding this weekend.
Oh, there's no breadcrumbs.
I know. So I have to get into my pants. I always have the pants. I got to fit into the pants.
Girl,
I know. So this is a struggle, but it's okay because then I'll let myself eat from Halloween to Super Bowl Sunday. That's it. I just let myself eat. But anyway, isn't that beautiful? It smells as good as it looks. Annette Zito, you have outdone yourself again.
My pleasure to bring you something and be in studio.
Oh my God. Yeah, because
not fair.
I know, Leo, it isn't fair.
Well, no one told you to move to California, honey.
Oh, wow.
Hey.
I can't
love you though. Love you.
This is fantastic.
They're cute little things.
Oh my God. So,
and they're easy.
Now, I'm going to show what I made, and then because that's coming over, I had to make a nice
Oh, wait,
sound.
we didn't say it.
What? Oh, 1, 2, 3.
Go ahead.
Keep eating. That's right. That is the food section of our show. And that's what we say. We say, go ahead, keep eating. And our guests know that. That's why it says that on all our merchandise. Because as Italian girls, we know you got to keep eating. Keep cooking, keep eating. Nancy Zito, look, your sister.
I know. She said she was watching tonight.
We love Nancy. Hi, Nancy. She says, I'm drooling. Do you want to save one? Bring it. You going to bring one tonight?
No, I have 4 at home.
Oh, all right. So we love Nancy. Nancy, I want to have Nancy zoom into the show. She's an interior decorator. Is that correct?
Yeah, designer.
designer. Nancy, would
Yes.
you ever want to zoom into her show? I would love that. You know, she's very busy. I can't pin her
Yes.
down.
Yes.
You can't pin her down. Backward. Joseph Backward says, "Oh yeah, he loves that." Okay.
Oh, Joe Beckwar. Oh, he's
Is
great.
that your friend?
That's my friend.
I love that.
I know we look related.
We do look related. You know, everybody always thinks we are,
Yes.
but you never know.
You never know.
What part of Italy is your family from?
We're Calabrese.
And we're
And Basilico. Basilica? I don't know. The
yeah,
name of it.
Basilicano. So
It's toe and arch.
I just saw, as a matter of fact, speaking of Calabria, I just saw my favorite show on CNN, of course, is Stanley Tucci's Searching for Italy.
Yes.
And the last episode, Leo, was about Calabria.
Mm-hmm.
Stunning.
I have to watch that one.
Oh my God, you're going
I
to
haven't
go
seen it.
Oh
crazy.
my God.
So let's just talk about this for a minute. So, and we can do the salad anytime. So Calabria, but this is what I loved about his show. He doesn't just talk about food. He talks about the history of Italy. And the thing is, Italy, like they have that new, very right-wing prime minister, right? And everybody's like freaking out. But here's the thing about Italy. They've had about 48 different governments, no lie, since World War II, maybe more. It just is, they don't last long. It's just these pieced together patchwork governments and there's so much corruption. That's what the sad part about it is. And he's talked about it as well. There's that corruption, but the people are amazing. The food is amazing. The landscape is amazing. But it's like anywhere else, you know, there's a good and bad. But Italy is gorgeous. You should go. It will be life-changing for you. If you've been there already, you know. The only thing is, it's a little scammy. I'm not going to lie.
Where isn't?
I know, but
Exactly.
Italy, and I speak fluent Italian, and I had to find myself many times saying to them in Italian, I know exactly what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
And then they kind of stop. But, okay, so what did I make for salad? I went with a classic. What would my mother do? Since you made your mother's meatloaf, I said, yeah, we had to do what our moms, didn't you learn to
Exactly.
cook from your mom?
My
And your
mother,
dad.
my father. Yeah. You know.
Annette's family, all in the restaurant business,
Yep.
food business, produce business. So Annette knows she understands food. So I made just what would my mother do if she were here? And my mother would, this is what she would make: romaine lettuce, red onion, red peppers, which were my favorite thing as a kid. I just couldn't eat one. I used to sneak.
I do
red
that
pepper.
now. I love that.
You put a little
Obsessed.
vinegar and salt and pepper.
Oh my God. You could use it as like a utensil.
That's
and
what
dip.
I do.
Oh my God.
Italian kids. That's what we did. That was our big thing. Or the sugar snap peas. We used to take them off the vine, rinse them off.
Well,
and eat
that's
'em.
fancy.
Yeah, I know my dad would grow those. So black olives and shavings of Parmesan.
Gorgeous.
That's
That's
it.
an amazing salad.
Simple. What
She
am
always makes a great salad.
I
though.
love salads. I
She
love
makes
salads.
excellent salad.
And when I was a kid, my dad would be at the dinner table. We had to be very quiet around my dad because he's very serious. And as soon as he would leave the dinner table, then we would kind of do what we wanted. And I used to eat all the leftover salad, then drink the dressing. I loved salads.
Oh.
So now I'm going to put just an aceto di Modena on that, which is a balsamic vinegar from Modena, which is a region in Italy and Tuscany. And then a Italian extra virgin olive oil from Italy. It is probably from Calabria, as a matter of fact, because my neighbor Cheryl, who lives upstairs but is married to a man from Calabria, she brought it back for me. So that's what I'm doing.
The good stuff.
I also, exactly, the good stuff. I also put on there, I found this new great stuff. I love Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's has this new seasoning called Green Goddess, and it's got all these amazing things in it. Just check it out. It's got more things than you can ever list, but it's all like herbs and delicious things.
Oh, that's so good. I'm going to check that out for
Green
sure.
Goddess, that's all
I
you
haven't seen
need.
it.
It's got salt, pepper, chives, oregano, everything. It's beautiful. So I'll put that on there. For dessert, Annette, I really, with all my heart, wanted to get Italian desserts, but I'm in Washington Heights. There is not an Italian cookie.
I would have gone. I would have gone. I
No.
have Enrico's down my block.
Oh my God. Well, you know what? I already knew you were making the trip down here. So I got the next best thing because Tom Gold is in New York. We are in New York. I got New York cheesecake. There it is. You can't go wrong with a little New York cheesecake with
Hi,
a little
Tom.
That's how cute is he?
He's adorable.
I'm sorry, Tom. I didn't mean to sexualize you there, but
No.
adorable. We were just flirting with Tom. He's married. But anyway, cheesecake. That's what we're having for dessert. So we have themes in the up in here. Now, so let's bring Tom back on.
He's here.
Tom, what as a kid?
Yes.
What was your comfort food? What was something that you were like, oh, I can't wait to have blank?
I mean, I probably love the traditional stuff like pizza, French fries, hamburgers,
Now, but as a dancer,
growing up in the Midwest, like my mother was like, just shut up. Here's a McDonald's hamburger.
Hey, Saturday night was
bad food. It was terrible. I mean, I'm surprised I'm so healthy today, but yeah, it's pretty funny.
Well, so I was going to say, I mean, you're a dancer. So even back then as a young person dancing,
yeah.
Did you try to eat healthy? Or were you just like naturally thin and?
Well, back then, like in the 80s and 90s, like in the Midwest, there was spaghetti and spaghetti. There was not fresh pasta. There was not like a cheese selection. There was a hamburger. There wasn't a lot of choices, and there was lots of fast food drive-throughs, so it was very easy.
Where in the Midwest, Tom?
My parents lived a half hour outside of Chicago, southwest.
Okay, I think
that's like Joliet, where the penitentiary is.
Oh, okay. That's a good reference. Who's going to forget that? Yeah.
Right.
Where's he from? He's from the penitentiary. Exactly, right near there.
The joint.
The big house.
Yeah.
Our crazy Italian relatives. The big house.
No college.
Oh wait, Did I tell you
I'm
that
going to college.
Listen, that's exactly
he went to college.
What they called
he got an education.
They would say, "Oh, where's so and so? What happened to so and so? We haven't been around. Oh, he went to college." And this kid was definitely not a kid that was college material, but that's how we knew not to ask any questions. And then they came back from college. It was like a lot of years, a lot of education, 20 years sometimes. Wow. Yeah.
He got a degree.
Yeah. Oh, they were doctors? They came back doctors.
Right. Yeah. So Lynn Portis has joined us. She's my great best friend and musical director.
Genius.
Genius. Lynn Portis, genius. And Lori Tower says a work of art for your food, delicious food. Lynn Portis says she loves you.
I love you too.
Nancy Zito, Basilicata.
That's where we're from. That's the
Nancy is on it.
She's on the case.
She is on the case. Liz, I just spit out my spaghetti bolognese laughing. It's the truth. Oh my God. So
it is true. Your sauce is so good.
All right, Tom, you've had my sauce.
Oh my God. Yes. It's like the savior. It's like you come home and you're tired and then you just pull it out and.
Well, I got to once again, shout out to Liz Goldenberg, our friend and your sister-in-law.
Yeah.
Liz has purchased, she's my best customer. She's purchased not only sauce for herself, but she sent some to your in-laws.
Yep.
She'll send to all of her friends. When I first started making the sauce, she used to give me lists every week of friends that she would buy it for as gifts. So really, I mean, I can't thank Liz enough. She's been so incredibly supportive. But I'll run into people that say that. I've had your sauce. I'm like, you have? You're
the sauce.
I'm the sauce lady. So thank
you,
you,
Liz. It's so good.
Lisa Vigiano has joined us, another Italian. She was on our show. Listen, Tom, we're making you an honorary Italian today. That's it.
Everyone's a little Italian.
Everyone. Lisa Vigiano has joined us. You're showing up in my feed now. I need to try to buy your sauce and definitely want to get an apron. Okay.
In her feed.
In her feed. But now, Annette is the pun queen. She is the queen of the every year around the Oscars. She creates a menu with all the themes of all the movies, and it's incredible. So, Annette, if they want to find you, how do they find you?
You could go to kitchenette.com. Oh, and there I am.
Leo.
Yes, it's I still have to do some work on it, but yeah, the new logo's in place and they'll be merch sometime soon. I hope.
Oh my God. And she's got an amazing book on Amazon that I have and bought for gifts. for many of my friends, and it's all dishes of the Oscars that she created. They're themed like really funny. A lot of them are super funny, but they're delicious. They're also super delicious.
Thank you, and she's right.
Speaking
Kitchen
of,
at red carpet menus.
help me do my merchandise.
Yes,
Annette. Grab
where's
that.
apron?
Okay. So we have Leo. You have your cup.
I have
We
all
have
my
our-
stuff.
Now remember, the good news is there's a much younger version of me on these items because we can do that.
You're timeless.
So it's only $10. Here's your mug, and go ahead, keep eating. On the back there, we also have tote bags. Where's the tote? Here it is, a tote. And Leo years ago said to me, "You're going to need tote bags soon." I said, "For what? What do we need tote bags for?" He said they're going to get rid of plastic, and he was right. He could look into the future. So these are super strong. They're also
Leo's doing one side and I'm doing the other.
Yeah, that's the way he does it. He loves it. So if you'd like a tote bag,
Flip.
you're also 10.
Flip.
Our piece de resistance. Annette, I would like you to don this, please.
Hold on.
I'm
I'm doing what he's telling me.
Oh,
to do.
yeah. You are a supermodel, Annette.
Okay.
We're not like Tom. Tom would have had this choreographed like that
Tom
already.
is so classy compared to this
I'm always
group
going the wrong way.
of
You love it.
bags. All right, so go ahead, keep eating. Our apron, it is blue. Blue's our favorite color. Remember that color in a few weeks when you go to the polls. And I'm just saying, that's all. I'm putting that plug out because
I'd rather
so
be
much
blue,
is at stake this
voting for you.
year. No,
No.
can't stop her. She's on a roll. Go Annette,
Vote
says Liz.
some blue.
So we want to remind people if I was going to say if you're going to vote, but I'm not going to say if. I'm going to say when you vote. Before you vote, go to vote.org. That is an amazing site. You can find your state. You scroll down, you find your state. Make sure you're registered. Check your registration. Thank you. Leo is scrolling it underneath. There's also fairfight.com, which is Stacey Abrams' site that she started. Turnoutpack.org, postcards to swing states, which I did. I do it every time, but that's closed now. You can't get any more. The deadline was last night. I wrote 200 postcards. I put stamps on them to send them out. 200. It took, but I got them in August, so it took. I can't wait. And I got the state I got was Georgia this time.
Vote. Your voice matters. Every race is so close.
Yeah.
One vote counts.
And I was telling somebody today, you have one vote. It's your voice. It's your voice in this country. Is your vote. But I can't vote for you. I can only vote for me. Okay. So it's not like, sometimes kids are like, they say to their parents, you do it. Or you say to your girlfriend or boyfriend or husband or wife, I don't feel like it. You handle that. That's one thing that someone else can't handle for you. Can only handle for themselves. Please don't forget to vote. You can start voting early. I think as early as maybe like 10 days from now.
In New York, at least.
Yeah, in New York at least. But if you go to vote.org and just find your state and scroll, it'll tell you everything you need to know.
All your questions.
All
will
your
be
questions,
answered.
including your zip code. It'll tell you where your place is. Things like that. So I'm a
I
huge
got my
fan.
big book today. If you're not sure of it, read up. Everyone, I got my voting. What is it? The
Pamphlet?
all the pamphlet, all the information. Gonna read it. We have a couple of propositions out here in California that are gambling related, taking money with dealing with the reservations that do have gambling and out of state stuff. So there's some important stuff in there as well.
I love it.
And watch the wording on when you're voting on those kinds of things, because they are like, you think you must vote yes because you're voting for something, but by voting yes, it's doing the opposite of what you want. So be very cognizant of what you're voting for.
Yeah, it's lawyer language.
Yeah.
And,
Yes.
which means you have to really dissect it and read. That's why it's a good thing to read up before you go in, and also talk to people. I love to talk to people about issues, and not fight, and agree not to fight with people. Like I said, I talk to. So I'm I'm a singer and I'm a bartender and I'm a teacher. So all I do is talk to people, and I sell sauce. So you talk to a lot of people. Don't fight. Everyone's coming from their truth or what they think to be their truth. Talk to people like they're human beings. Don't hate. Educate. That is my motto this year. And let's try to really build this country back together, because there's so many, like Michael Isaacs always says, there's so many more of us than there are of them. And that's what scares them. And what I mean by us is not a particular group. I mean that middle section of good people that just want to be able to exist day to day and not hurt anyone, but survive. That's really what it's about. Those are the good people in the middle, you know?
Yeah.
So anyway, all right, we have about 8 minutes left. Annette.
Yes.
We're coming back to Annette. Annette, growing up as a kid, what was your favorite thing that your parents made when you came home from school? What did you hope was there? Because your parents were great cooks.
They're excellent. Well, my mother was more baking, and my father was more cooking.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's so cliche, but if my father had gotten a little fancy and made a lasagna, and the edges were just crusty, he'd make a couple. That was always a really good day.
Yes.
My mother with the baking, I mean, she just baked a billion different things, not Italian per se, but if she was being particularly nice to him, she'd make her arugula, which thank God I can make.
Ooh.
And it is just, cinnamon raisin, just delicious. I'll put it against anyone's arugula.
You know what's funny about arugula and Italians? I know that arugula is traditionally
a Russian, isn't it? A Russian.
Yeah, and my Jewish friends tend to have arugula, like, they know the best bakeries to go and get arugula and all that, right?
Right.
And I was reintroduced to arugula in New York by my Jewish friends. And when I saw it, I was like, wait a minute, my aunts make that.
Yeah.
We just make a different version. It's a little bit of a different shape, but we call it different things, but it's arugula. And it's, oh my God, as kids, that was like
dose cut and rolled with like.
Absolutely. And I love when you said the crispy edges of the lasagna. Forget it.
Oh my God, it's the best part. Like the second day is always better than when it just. You have to let it wait, or else it all just dies.
Yeah,
you have to let it set.
Absolutely. My favorite thing that my mother was an incredible cook, but my favorite thing that she used to make, and it's so funny because it was on Stanley Tucci's Calabria episode, and very similar. My mother used to make a sausage and broccoli raw pie.
Oh,
my mother made
that was so good.
Oh my God!
Roll.
So she would have the dough in the pan, right, like in a square pan. She would fill it with this broccoli rabe sausage that she had sautéed in a pan with tons of garlic, sliced garlic, and then she would put the top on it like a. So it was more like a calzone, and nobody to this date that I've ever met makes it. And, my mom's been gone a long time now. And I wish I had asked her how she made it. I might have to try. But I saw Stanley Tucci's show. And what the woman did was, in Calabria, they make amazing bread. She took a big loaf of bread, like a round. She cut it, like a little part in the middle, scooped it out, put the broccoli and sausage in it, and then covered it. And she said the working men back in the day, and even now, what they would do is their wives would make this and they would wrap it, and then you could take it to work and slice it like, and that was it.
Ooh.
One shoulder was the sandwich, the other shoulder the vino.
Right.
Now I'm just
I watched it. Yeah, it was
on a mountain.
It looks so good, Marie. I could taste it when she was making it.
I know, and you know what? I had such a visceral reaction to missing my mom.
But he made that connection with her though too, because he mentioned how it traveled to America because he remembers growing up with it.
Yeah.
And but because they had brought it over from there.
Yeah, I know. I just love it. So we could talk for hours. Tom, it has been such a delight to have you on.
Oh, well, thank you for having me. It's been such a pleasure. And now I'm hungry.
I know.
It always happens.
I used to have everybody in studio and then we would eat afterwards, but it started to change.
You ladies are missing Lavinia. Lavinia was to be right there in the middle of you two right there.
That's true.
Last when we had shows, you're right. Now, I do want both of you to leave the audience with something. I do want to shout out, Dennis Martinez has joined us. Hold on. Alan Schulteis has joined us. Carlos Hernandez, Matt Fabiano, Diane Cairns Connolly, many, many people from Massachusetts there. We'll remind you that Tom Gold's dance company is in the Berkshires at the Duffin Theater in Lenox, Massachusetts, October 22nd. And I want to say that's an early show, right, Tom? Is that like a...
Yeah.
A
Yeah,
6
so
o'clock
come. It's at I think it's at 6. Come at
p.m.
6, an hour long, and then go have a nice dinner.
Yes, absolutely. And that is, you want to see some beautiful foliage. So
Yeah.
your drive up will be beautiful. You get to see a gorgeous dance company, amazing, and then you can go and have some dinner. And then Tom's company is coming back to New York City at the JCC in Manhattan at 7:30 on October 26th, which happens to be my parents' anniversary. So that's a
Yay.
very special date. All right, Annette,
Darling.
I want you to leave the audience with something, and then we'll finish off with Tom about just something inspiring about being creative, and what would you would say to people out there to inspire them to stay creative?
You have to do your bliss, but I want to go in a different direction for a second.
Whatever.
If you care about Al Hirschfeld, they are selling original print Al Hirschfeld at 15 East 9th Street on the weekend. And that inspired me when I was young, and I always wished I could have one and that I would have enough money to afford one. And I bought one,
Oh,
Bringing Up
wow.
Baby. And I think that if you can, at least go look at them in this amazing brownstone that they're going to be selling. And if that doesn't inspire you from a creative perspective, then nothing will.
Oh, I
It's an
love
amazing
that.
array of work.
Okay, so East
And you
9th
can buy
Street.
one.
Beautiful. I love that. You see, you never know what inspires someone.
TikTok taught me. And
TikTok
I
is-
sent my sister, and she went because I was in Woodstock.
Yeah.
And then I went this past weekend and made a friend of mine in New Mexico buy one.
See how beautiful, and we're spreading the word.
Yeah.
Tom, what would you say to people that maybe are stuck or they're struggling to stay creative, or what win will you put in our sales today, my friend?
I would say if you feel stuck, just get up and move. Everyone always says like, oh, I can't dance. I can't dance. Everybody can dance. You might not be a professional, but you can move. And this minute you start moving, it makes you feel better. It energizes you. And, you know, we take the city for granted so much. There's so much to do here, museums and concerts and theater, and, you know, just do something, even if it's for 5 minutes. If you write a short story or a poem, or you just draw a picture, just do something, because it's so soul satisfying, I think, you know, and it opens the door to do other things, you know, it like just sets your mind going. And so, like, you know, just try something new, you know, you never know what you might find that you like.
Absolutely, 100%. I can't thank you both enough for coming.
Vote,
Thank-
right?
Yeah,
Vote.
vote.
You know what? The worst thing is people being complacent. They think, oh, I live in New York, it's all going to be one way. Your vote counts. Get off your butt. Even if you're tired from work, go vote.
Absolutely. You know, I will say the statistic again because it's frightening. In the age group of 18 to 31, only 33% of them voted last time.
Yeah.
33%. Can you imagine if the other 67% voted? How powerful that would be.
Yeah.
You know, I also want to put in a plug for this great book that I like audiobooks because I drive a lot, and so it's a good way to but you buy it, of course, you can read it. It's called My Moment, and it's 101 different women. Some of them it's just one page.
That's right.
Some of them are famous, some of them are not famous, but they're just lovely humans out there that do different work, and they talk about that moment when they took back their power.
Kathy and Jimmy just read that, talking about that book on The View.
Yes,
She uses it.
unbelievable. And Cheryl Wright, who is she is an out country western singer, and who did not have an easy time of being out. But she saw her on the morning show one day. Anyway, it's a great book. I highly recommend it. And I listen to that, and each story inspires me. I'm like, and I just listened to Gloria Steinem. Gloria Steinem, I am not easily starstruck. I think, to me, celebrities are human beings that are doing their art. And I've worked in so many places. I've waited on them for years, waited on so many celebrities. But that was the one day in my New York life that I was completely, my jaw dropped. When Gloria Steinem passed me on 23rd Street, right by the Chelsea Hotel, I was like, oh, I couldn't even speak.
I got to meet somebody of that stature, and I have to say that I got to wait on Angela Lansbury.
Wow.
When I was working at Petrosian. And so I'd like to say rest in peace
Yes.
to our Mrs. Teapot, who was
Miss
legend. Legend. I mean, I remember her in National Velvet.
Yep.
I remember her as a guest on Merv Griffin.
I know.
Oh my goodness.
Amazing. And I waited on her when I worked at Bar Centrale, and she was lovely.
Lovely.
A lovely human, a beautiful, beautiful human. Very sweet. So go and watch Murder, She Wrote, and go and watch
Mame.
and Mame and just
Sweeney Todd.
Sweeney Todd.
Sweeney Todd.
So many amazing things. So Tom, once again, thank you, sweetheart, for taking the time to be on the show. What a great night this was, everybody. Annette Zito drove down and cooked mini Italian meatloaves. Continue on your eating journey, everybody. It is Italian Heritage Month, the whole month. Enjoy. And as we slide into Halloween and then Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah, it is time to eat. Enjoy.
Go ahead.
Roger.
Keep eating. Bye, everybody. Thanks for coming.